Prosperity, peace and love to all my brothers and sisters. This is Teacher Kaitesi. So my message today is about our meditation language. Okay, so Spirit has been teaching me and telling me that it is best for us when we are meditating to use our mother tongue as opposed to using these other foreign languages. Okay, so you see, when these foreigners came and they started teaching us their languages, this English, this French, and so on, and we took this up. Part of the reason why they insisted that we use those languages in school and not speak any of our local languages was so that even in here, they disconnect us from our ancestry. You see, if all the time at school you're using this language to study, you're using it to talk to your friends, to interact, to have conversations, even break time, even lunchtime, that's all you're using. That means even when it comes to thinking and making all your plans in here, you're using that same foreign language. Do you think when it comes to the time of prayer, you change it? Or time of meditation, do you change it? You continue using that same language. Okay? All the ancestors, all your ancestors that came before you, all the ancestors that came before you, used their mother tongue to talk to Spirit, to speak to the Most High, to connect with their ancestors before them. They always used their local language. Now here we're having meditation time, we're speaking to Spirit, and we are using foreign languages. Now, I know when you're talking to the Most High, you think that you're talking to the Most High directly. But you see, the Most High is such a powerful entity that whatever it is that you're saying goes through all these other entities before you. Okay? All these other entities before you. You're not just one person. You are part of your parents. Behind you, there are your parents. Then there are your grandparents. So those are 4 other people. Then others behind them, and so on and so forth. So all these other people used your mother tongue to communicate with the Most High. And now here comes you, and you're using a foreign language to communicate with the same God. Because we have to agree on something. Even if we disagree on how we pray or how we meditate, we have to agree that before the Mzungu came to Africa, and after the Mzungu came to Africa, the Creator is still the same. Because the Creator is still providing the same things. Before the Mzungu came, it used to rain. We used to have air. We used to have our land. We were growing our food. It's the same thing that we are still doing today. It is still raining. The Creator is still giving us enough air. And we are still using the same soil to grow our food. So the Creator has not changed. The Creator has not changed. It is us who have changed. Why have we changed? Why have we changed? Spirit is teaching me that it is best that when you're meditating or in prayer, do it in your mother tongue. And it would also be very good for you to teach it to your children. Our children are growing up in schools where they are told you cannot speak another language. Okay? That little children are actually even scared of speaking their mother tongue. I have a neighbor who has a 4-year-old who's now in middle class, nursery school, that's nursery 2. This child, from when they started going to school, understood that when you speak Kinyarwanda at school, you get punished. So the child cut the Kinyarwanda out. So much so that when the maid is talking to the child answers in English. The maid speaks Kinyarwanda, the child answers the maid in English. Until when it gets to the part where the maid says something and the child answers, and the maid can't figure out what the child has said. So at that time when the child realizes that she has said something the maid can't understand, yes, now the English has become hard, the child speaks in a very soft voice, as if I should not be heard. Because for her, she has taken it such that every time you speak this language, you will be punished. So she no longer speaks Kinyarwanda. She doesn't speak Kinyarwanda. You understand? Our kids are very disconnected from our ancestors. And it all started with us. Because our parents still speak our mother tongue, and they still, I'm sure, pray in their mother tongue. But us, our generation, people who are in their 50s, 40s, 30s, 20s, they don't. So we need to change it. We need to teach our children to pray in our mother tongue, and we need to teach ourselves to tune it, that every time you wake up to pray, whether to meditate, whichever way you're speaking to Spirit, it's up to you. Okay? But do it in your mother tongue. Fidget with it slowly, it will get there. Okay? That's what Spirit has told me. It's okay, this is an example which I can give. It's like there's a radio station and they tell you that it is on 80.5. Okay? 80.5. When you tune and get to about 80.2, 80.3, you can hear that radio station. You can hear some music, you can hear the news, you can hear it. But it's not clear. There's all this background noise. That's how we are when we are communicating in these tongues. That's how we are. Okay? When you get and continue tuning and you get to the 80.5, then everything is finally clear. You can hear everything that you would want to hear. That is you when you're using your mother tongue. Your mother tongue has a certain weight for you. It has weight. Our words have a certain weight, which when we use as people of that tongue, it gives us a certain advantage. We don't have that advantage when we're using a foreign language. I'm an English teacher, and English is a very ambiguous language. It has so many words that mean different things that are written exactly the same. That literally when you use the word, you have to explain to the person to understand what you're saying. Okay? Let me give you another example. Before Spirit taught me this, every time I dreamt and I saw my mom's mom, my grandmother, she seemed to make signs towards me. Like she never used to speak to me. She would make signs, or sometimes she would have my cousin. I have a cousin who I usually see, and this cousin would be the one to talk to me. And so I always wondered, how come she doesn't talk to me during these dreams? And she'd be very happy to see me, but she never really spoke to me. She always made sign language, she gestured things, and she showed me things, but without saying anything. So now I come to learn that the reason for that is because I was always praying and meditating in English. So there was that barrier between me and her, so she could not communicate with me. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine how sad that is? I really felt sad. I felt really sad, and I thought, how many people are going through this? We are doing so many things out of this ignorance, which we call modernity, and truthfully, it is ignorance. It is ignorance that we are still praying and doing things in foreign languages when those same foreigners are doing things in their own languages. It's not bad enough that we are the only people who are praying to gods that don't look like us, believing in ancestors that are not ours, that don't have our names. Now we are even talking to the Most High using their languages. When everyone else has their gods and has their people, their gods looking like them and speaking their tongue. You know? So you know what? Brothers and sisters, it's a very small change. If you don't know your mother tongue, and I know many people don't, learn. Learn. Most of these things that we do during meditation is gratitude, is thanking. You can thank in your mother tongue. I'm sure you can. I'm sure most people can. If you can't, find out a few things. Find out how to ask for guidance. Find out how to ask for, how to keep on your path. Find out how to thank. Find out how to... But most of what you even need is the feeling. But try and make the effort to use your mother tongue. And please make the effort to teach it to our children. Let's not let our children get disconnected. Okay? So, that is what Spirit had told me to come and tell you today. Please, together, let's change our meditation language and start using the one that our ancestors used. Okay? All the best.